Hey guys, Marsingan here, bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so we were hoping that these details would get posted today, and we did indeed get a tweet from the JP Dokkan Twitter for the INT BROLY EZA details. Obviously they announced during the Dokkan Now, where they showed off properly the new LR BROLY and the LR physical trio, showed off all their animations and stuff like that, told us a little bit about the celebration, and then at the very end they did reveal that this would be like the big main EZA for part 1. A lot of us, of course, still expecting Tech LR Broly to get an EZA, but that's potentially going to be as we move into part 2, as he is from movie 10, and we are starting off focusing on movie 8. So INT Broly was the Saiyan Day unit. I think it was what, like 2021, so definitely about time for him to get an EZA. Makes sense with a Broly celebration. The funniest thing about all of this is that they still only posted this on the JP Dokkan. In fact, let me bring up the global one. Maybe they just kind of fell asleep for 10 minutes, but nope. You can see the global thing, they have not posted it whatsoever. So on that Dokkan Now, the global version, where they had Amatsu speaking English, and obviously our boy Ken from the team, who's a little bit better at English than Amatsu, they specifically said in that Dokkan Now, when they announced his EZA, that the details would be posted on social media. But apparently they still just meant only on the JP version in Japanese. So the details did get posted. Shout out to Minato for doing the translations. Let me switch over to the more zoomed out view here. But so there we go. There we have INT Legendary Super Saiyan Broly. I haven't read these at all. I literally saw Minato posted the translations literally 30 seconds before pretty much I hit record for this video. So I haven't read them. So yeah, let's see what he does. I had high hopes for this guy. Really enjoyed this unit when he came out. His base kit was definitely very good. Like, he's one of those characters that has the potential for a really good EZA, as long as they don't like hold back too much for him, right? So going into it, the thing I want to see the most is him having a better chance to do additional super attacks, because pre-EZA it was only a medium chance, which is 30%, which means you very often get turns where he just does one super and then a bunch of normals, and that obviously doesn't help him with the stacking. So yeah, let's go ahead and see what he actually does. So his leader skill, we kind of knew this would always be the case for these like TUR, Dokkan Fest, Planetary Destruction or movie bosses are his 2 categories. 3 key, HP attack and defense 170. This is a big improvement for him, because he was one of those random, like when they were giving split stats to these 170 leads, he was only giving 130% to HP. So his team had a lot lower HP than some of the other teams in the meta at the time, which obviously not particularly good. So that's nicely rounded out as expected. So his super attack is greatly raise attack, raise defense, and cause immense damage to the enemy. So they've increased his attack raise to being greatly raise. It's still an infinite stack. I'm just bringing up his actual card details pre-EZA. Yeah, so before it was just raise attack and defense, immense damage. So his defense still infinitely stacks, but raise defense is 30%. But they've increased the attack to greatly raises, so it's 50%. So every time he's supering, he's building up much more attack each time. And then his passive is key +3, attack and defense 260%. He has reduced damage received by 26% and a chance to crit 26%. So that is a relatively high increase. I think it was, yeah, it was 18% pre-EZA. So an extra 8% for those. He launches an additional attack that has a high chance to become a super. So yeah, before it was medium, now it's high. That is still only 50% instead of 30. It'd be nice if it was 70, or if he had a way to get a guaranteed one, but let's see as we go. He gets attack and defense 26% when attacking. So that is something new that's just been added in. He didn't get any sort of attack buff on or defense buff previously. 26% might not seem like a super high amount, but when attacking buffs are multiplicative. So at the start of the turn, like if you open up the team menu, the defense that you see there, that is what he gets 26% of. Because a lot of the times when characters are stacking, they only get them off of like the base. But my understanding is when attacking, because the super attack effect is like 30% raised defense, I believe that's off of his like base, like start of turn 1 defense. But this 26% when attacking, that is off whatever his defense is at the start of the turn. So with a stacking unit, this means that he can potentially get up to some pretty decent numbers after attacking. by getting that nice little defensive buff. And then we get additional 3 key, launch an additional attack that has a great chance of becoming a super, and reduce damage received by 18%, chance to crit 18% when attacking, when there is a Pure Saiyan, Hybrid Saiyan, or Movie Heroes enemy. Okay, so previously, Broly only got that little extra buff when fighting a Pure or Hybrid Saiyan, which was the extra 18% damage reduction and crit chance. And it was only within the same turn. The wording is within the same turn after performing a super attack. So the interesting thing is, unless it is a slight mistranslation, not to blame Minato, but obviously that is very possible with the wording of some of these. But if it is when attacking and not when performing a super, that's actually very good for him, because if there's an event where you end up getting sealed, he still gets that buff because it's when attacking. Whereas if it's on super and the character gets sealed, they don't get those buffs. So that's definitely good. And then, yeah, they've added movie heroes as the category as well. That is actually very good, because obviously if we're taking him into some of these new difficult content, like the different blue zones, we've got a lot of enemies that are pure or hybrid Saiyans. But then we have the stages where we have like Gogeta, for example, and he wouldn't have gotten the extra buff against him. Whereas now, obviously, he will, because Movie Heroes has been added to this thing. So, because he has extra damage reduction in his base now, the 26% in general, that means he has, what, 44% damage reduction against Pure Saiyans and Hybrid Saiyans? That's pretty good, like, once he's gotten a few stacks off. As well as getting the extra crit chance as well. So it's 44% damage reduction and 44% chance to crit. So it was probably unlikely to change with his EZA. They're not going to change the whole basis of what the unit does, but it definitely means additional for this guy is really good, because he can get crits very easily, especially against certain bosses. And then the final thing here is launches an additional super attack, reduce damage received by 15%, and chance of performing a crit 15% when attacking when facing an enemy whose name includes Goku. Okay, so this is definitely very good considering all the new content that we've got. There are a lot of stages where the enemy's name includes Goku, because they haven't specified it to just a Super Saiyan Goku, which obviously they could have done considering it's Broly from movie 8. But this means all of these Blue Zone stages where you're fighting like God Goku, UI Goku, Blue Evolution Goku and Blue Evolution Vegeta together, like that's a Goku, then a unit whose name includes Goku. You know, we've just had announced in the news today that we're getting new stages of that movie Memorial Battle. That will probably end with, or at least include, a stage where we fight the new physical LR trio, and obviously that's a unit whose name includes Goku. So this is pretty good for like any future Blue Zones, like the Universe Survival Saga stages, which Global doesn't have yet, obviously end with a fight against Goku and Frieza. So that's another unit whose name includes Goku. So adding another 15%, obviously if it's a character, they have to be on Pure Saiyans, Hybrid Saiyans, or Movie Heroes as well, so that wouldn't apply to like Goku and Frieza. But if you're hitting both of those, if we're fighting any of these events where it's just a Goku, or if it's like a Movie Heroes like the physical trio, that means Broly's getting what, the 44 and then another 15, so he's getting 59% damage reduction and crit chance on a unit that is infinitely stacking. He gets a guaranteed additional super against Goku. So basically on the God RNG turn, you do your super attack, you get the additional attack that has a high chance to become a super, 50%, so that could be 2. Then if you're fighting a Pure Saiyan, Hybrid Saiyan, or Movie Hero, you get an additional attack that has a 70% chance to become a super. Then if that enemy is a Goku, you get a guaranteed additional super, and then you have the hidden potential as well. So on his best turn, he'll be able to super attack 5 times, which for an infinite stacking unit is pretty crazy. Now, it is all RNG, so obviously that first one, high chance, 50-50, like, you're going to see plenty of turns where he just does an additional normal. The Pure Saiyans, Hybrid Saiyans, or Movie Heroes enemy one at least is a great chance, which is 70%, so you hopefully will see that more often than not. And then the one against the Goku is guaranteed, but it means against a non-Goku, you definitely are still going to potentially see turns where he does a super and then 2 normals, and then maybe even the hidden potential is only a normal, which is a little bit disappointing. But he is obviously getting a lot of build up in certain events. There are many events that include Goku, even if it's only for 1 or 2 of the phases. So at least while that phase is up, he's going to be getting those extra attacks. So that seems very, very good. I wouldn't look at this and say like, oh man, he's now like the new best EZA TUR. But I definitely don't see these details and think, oh, well, he's not actually that good. Like, he certainly is going to be pretty good in the right circumstances, especially against the right bosses. He does have the potential to go absolutely crazy. He's not going to be a slot 1 unit, but obviously he's there to kind of be put on the new Tech BROLY team. And Tech BROLY is the slot 1 unit for that team, at least for the first, like, 5 turns. So that works out quite nicely. And then remember, the other thing that won't change is the hidden potential, the active skill, condition, and effect. So his active skill is activated after performing 4 or more super attacks, which obviously against the Goku, you now have a much extra higher chance of getting that on the first turn. And then his active skill is key 6, attacks 60%, and attacks effective against all types for 1 turn. So it's only a 1-turn buff. With an RNG character, you can always get really unlucky that the turn you use his active skill is then a turn where he just does like 1 super and 3 normals. But you can definitely have situations where if you're fighting a boss whose name includes Goku, you pop the active skill and then you do like 5 super attacks, and this guy will potentially hit incredibly hard, considering that all of his super attacks are now greatly raising his attack as an infinite stack. So that is really, really good. I also wanted to show, shout out to Proton, posted the thing here, the card details for his post EZA. So obviously we can see his stats. I believe this is at Rainbow, because let me check, where's my one gone? What's his? Yeah, so starting defense is not crazy, like 13k, but he has a stacker, 21k HP, 20k attack, decent HP stat. So yeah, should be very beneficial for the team overall. Very excited for this because the details came out today. This means that we should get a data download tomorrow, and his EZA should be out on Tuesday morning. So we'll be doing that on the early stream. Obviously it'll be late Monday evening, depending on parts of where you are in the US. The data download on Monday will give us all the information about the weakness category. So of course I will make a team building guide as always for the EZA, which will go up on Monday night. So there we go. INT BROLY, EZA details. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. He definitely has the potential, once you've got some stacks off and pop that active skill, that he could hit incredibly hard. But of course, when it comes to defense wise, you do need to get those early stacks. Like him having a bit of extra damage reduction is obviously helpful. So I think he's going to be good. He's certainly not like super busted, broken #1 EZA, but very, very good looking. Can't wait to see him actually in game. So yeah, we'll be doing that EZA live on stream and then testing him out. So hopefully I will see you there. Let me know all your thoughts about the INT BROLY EZA down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ninja. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out all the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.